Once upon a time, in the sprawling kingdom of Elaria, there lived a young man named Caelum. He was born with the rarest of gifts, healing magic. From his earliest days, his gentle hands could knit wounds, soothe fevers, and chase away the shadows of pain. Yet, in a world that revered the sword and the sorcerer's fire, Caelum's gift was seen as little more than a gentle whisper in the storm of battle. Healers were needed, yes, but never celebrated, never feared. As Caelum reached adulthood, he yearned to prove himself, to show that his magic was more than a salve for bruises. He joined the legendary Silver Vanguard, a guild famed for their exploits against the monstrous hordes that prowled the wilds beyond Elaria's walls. Eager, hopeful, he stepped onto the training fields, ready to learn, to fight, to heal. But the Vanguard was a place of pride and might, where warriors wielded steel and mages conjured lightning. Caelum's gentle incantations drew only sneers. "A healer?" they'd scoff. "What use is a healer when the enemy bears down with fangs and claws?" They mocked his inability to summon fire or wield a blade. In their eyes, healing was a crutch for the weak, not a weapon for the strong. The day came when the Vanguard set out to hunt a great beast, a shadow serpent that terrorized villages along the river. Caelum begged to come, promising his healing could turn the tide. But the captain laughed, dismissing him with a wave. "We need strength, not softness. Stay behind, lest you drag us down." The words stung deeper than any wound. When the Vanguard returned, battered and bruised, they ignored his outstretched hands. Instead, they blamed him for their losses, whispering that his presence was a curse. That very night, he was summoned before the guild elders. Without ceremony, they cast him out, branding him worthless, a healer unfit for battle. Banished and alone, Caelum wandered into the wilderness. The forests were thick with monsters, shadows lurking behind every tree. Yet, as the days passed, a strange resolve grew in his heart. If the world would not accept him as he was, he would carve his own path. He would discover the true power of his gift. In a lonely glade, as dusk fell, Caelum was ambushed by a dire wolf 3 times his size. Its jaws snapped, and pain seared through his leg. Instinctively, he channeled healing energy into the wound. But this time, he pushed beyond the surface, pouring his very essence into the spell. A radiant light erupted from his hands, flooding the wolf's body. For a moment, the beast howled, then stilled. To Caelum's astonishment, the wolf collapsed, lifeless. The healing magic, turned inward, had overtaxed the creature's unnatural strength, unraveling the dark energies that animated it. A revelation dawned. Healing was more than mending flesh. It was the power to restore balance, to purge corruption, to overwhelm the unnatural with life's pure force. Caelum trained in solitude, experimenting with his magic. He learned to channel healing energy not just into wounds, but into monsters' twisted forms, overloading them until they could take no more. Goblins, ogres, even the dreaded wyvern, all fell before his radiant touch. Word of a lone wanderer who slew beasts with healing spread through the land. Villagers whispered of a saint of the wilds, and desperate souls sought him out, pleading for salvation from the monsters that plagued them. Caelum answered every call, his confidence growing with each victory. One day, the earth shook as a colossal demon emerged from the mountains, its form a writhing mass of darkness and agony. The Vanguard, his former comrades, marched to meet it, but even their strongest attacks barely scratched its hide. As hope faded, a lone figure stepped onto the battlefield. Clad in simple robes, staff glowing with gentle light, Caelum approached the demon. The Vanguard sneered, recognizing the worthless healer. The captain spat. "You'll only get in our way again." But Caelum's eyes were steady, his voice calm. "Let me try." He walked alone to the demon's feet, feeling the creature's pain, its unnatural hunger. Raising his staff, he unleashed a torrent of healing magic, flooding the beast with restorative power. The demon shrieked, its form thrashing as the magic ripped through it, unraveling the curses and malice that bound it together. In moments, the monstrosity dissolved into harmless mist. Its terror ended, silence fell. The Vanguard stared, disbelief etched into their faces. Caelum turned to them, his voice gentle but firm. Healing is not weakness. It's the greatest power of all, the power to unmake what should not be and restore what is lost. News of Caelum's triumph spread across Elaria. Where once he was scorned, now he was sought after. Kings and commoners alike begged for his aid. He ventured to places no warrior dared, facing monsters that thrived on pain and fear. Against each, his healing magic proved unstoppable, overwhelming curses, shattering darkness, obliterating the strongest monsters not with violence, but with the very force of life itself. Yet for all his power, Caelum remained humble. He taught others that healing was not merely a tool for the wounded, but a weapon against the unnatural. He inspired a new generation of healers, warriors, and mages to see their gifts in a new light. In time, the Vanguard, shamed by their earlier scorn, invited him to lead them. Caelum declined, choosing instead to wander, always seeking those in need. His legend grew, not as a conqueror, but as a savior, one who proved that the greatest strength lies not in destruction, but in the courage to heal a broken world. And so, the worthless healer became the hero who obliterated monsters with healing magic, changing not only his fate, but the fate of Elaria itself.